Good afternoon, and welcome to the regular City Council meeting, the Successor Agency meeting, Public Housing Authority meeting, Civic League meeting, and Public Finance Authority meeting for Tuesday, December 11th. As we begin the meeting, we have our flag salute is going to be led by members of our performing art theater performing arts members. They just this past weekend did their first program under the new director, and I think everybody was so happy that they went so well. The kids did a great job with acting and the directing, the set, everything was really good. So we want to welcome them to lead us in the flag salute, and then please stand for the invocation.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we do thank you tonight that we are able to be here. We thank you for these young people that just led us in the Pledge of Allegiance, that they had a great performance and that they're anxious to do more, I'm sure. And Father, we just ask that tonight be a special night for everyone and that everything done be according to your will. And Father, we do want to thank you for everything that you do for us and how you continually watch over us. And especially tonight, I want to just ask a special blessing on family and friends who lost a loved one and had to lay them to rest this weekend. Just be with them, keep your arms around them, and help them realize that it's going to be okay, because you are in control and you know what's going to happen before they did. Father, we just thank you that you give us so much, so many blessings. We thank you that we live in a country where we can be free and come to these meetings and voice our opinions. And we just thank you in thy precious name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, thank you. Before you leave the podium, could you have you guys please state your name into the microphone so your parents can hear you and they can see you on TV?
We're shy. Say your name and what character you were.
My name is David, and I was Timon in The Lion King.
Okay.
My name's Alexa, and I was Rafiki in The Lion King.
I was Jose, and I was a giraffe.
I'm Mrs. Jimenez, and I was the director.
And I'm Diana. I was her helper.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, moving on with the agenda. The first item, I'm sorry, roll call.
Director Bach?
Here.
Director Mahar called in and asked to be excused. Councilmember Director Canada?
Here.
Councilmember Director Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Director Bruce?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chair Member Farfan?
Here.
Mayor Chair Member Gomez?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now moving on to the presentations and proclamations. And actually, the first item on the agenda, I'm not sure what they meant when they put this on there, but it says Mayor's farewell speech. And unless there's something I didn't know, I thought I was maybe just moving down to the end of the table, not out the door, at least at this time. But anyways, I think as this is a time when when your term's over, where the outgoing official speaks about the things that were accomplished during his or her term. I have to say I'm very proud of a lot of what we've achieved over the past year, especially, the dedication of the Feddy Sports Complex, the Veterans Memorial Plaza, and the Public Safety Memorial Plaza are obviously, deserve to be mentioned. But I rather than read from a long list that probably would be meaningless to most of you here observing, I think I'm going to take a different approach. Excuse me for being a little serious for a minute, but sadly, this past weekend, I attended a funeral for a longtime resident who was also a relative of one of our employees. And just yesterday, I received a call from my childhood best friend who informed me that his wife of over 30 years had just lost her battle with cancer and passed away. This led me to a long night of reflecting on these events and the sorrow, that people were feeling. And I don't know why, but it brought to mind a psychology class I took many, many years ago, right after I got out of the military. And I remember the professor, he probably spent most of the first month of class sitting on his table, or his desk, asking the question to the students, what are you doing here? And it seemed no matter what our answer to his question of what are we doing here was, he would respond by saying why. And it just went on and on. Obviously there was no right or wrong answer. I think it was just designed to make us think about our life's goals and our values and what's important to us in life. And so I spent last night asking myself, what am I doing here? What did I want to do, when I assumed this position, and did I come close to doing anything? Are there things that I want to do that I need to do still? Well, I think if I could narrow it down to a small sentence, I think what I'd like to say is what I'd hope I'm doing here is working to instill a strong sense of pride in the community, and to encourage us all to be good neighbors and lend a helping hand to those less fortunate than ourselves. And to inspire our children to have the courage and confidence to dream big and reach for the stars. Did I do any of that? I don't know. But I do have to say that I am proud of being able this past year to partner with Alexander, and I'm going to butcher your name again, Alexander Kanashvili. I know I didn't say it right, at Tri-City Regional Hospital, and Superintendent Dr. Mary Sue and the ABC School District to introduce Activate Hawaiian Gardens to the community. Together, our hope was to use education, recreation, inspiration, and perspiration to create a healthy environment that will help develop sharper minds and stronger bodies in the community. Though the first year the focus is to begin by offering a series of educational classes for parents, the Activate Hawaiian Gardens concept has already taken on a life of its own. In the first year, we have already brought to the community the health fair, a farmer's market that I do have to tell you, it's going to take a short hiatus right now just due to the weather. It's cold to be out there on Friday evening, so they're going to hold off until the spring and start the market up again. We also received pledges from over 40 businesses that they would support Activate Hawaiian Gardens. And two local businesses in particular, the Skechers Shoe Outlet, donated shoes to our walking club members at the sports complex, and also provided a discount opportunity so that we could purchase, actually community members could buy a pair of shoes at half price from the sales and a pair of shoes at half price for children in the community. And it ended up in one weekend of selling 32 pairs of shoes, I believe it was, that was donated to children just as school was about to begin. So there's a great, community neighbor. Also, the Sam's Club, which is in the town center and across the freeway, they chose to participate and became a real sponsor of Activate Hawaiian Gardens. They donated a cash amount that was given to each of the schools, each of our 4 elementary schools that serve our children locally, to purchase the things needed for the classroom. And they've also offered to provide healthy snacks and refreshments for any of the programming that the schools have. In fact, I understand they already donated $200 worth of healthy snacks to Melbourne Elementary last week. So I'm really happy that this is starting to take off. I would say Alexander's the driving force, so we have a lot planned to come, and just it's really a great opportunity to make a little change in the community. I'd like to say also in May, I was proud to host our inaugural Mayor's Youth Breakfast. It was a program that we brought together 25 of our past scholarship winners and about 100 of our local students from elementary, middle, and high school together for a breakfast here. And it was the opportunity for our past scholars to share their stories of success with the children who are attending school now. The message we wanted them to give, and I think it rang loud and clear, was that we're college students. Some of them are graduates working in wonderful careers, and we grew up here in the same community you did. We attended the same schools. We faced the same challenges, and with hard work, we overcame them, and so can you. And the letters I got from the children afterwards surely showed that they appreciated it, that it resonated with them, and I want to thank those scholarship winners for coming back and sharing with us. By voting to fund summer school once again this year, I believe the City Council has shown that we truly believe in our motto, our youth, our future. And we've sent a message to our students, their families, and educators that we'll do everything possible to support our children. And this past year, I reached out to the district for assistance to kind of hold our hand and walk us through what's going on in the schools so we can understand the challenges that our schools face and how we can help them. And again, Dr. Sue responded wonderfully. She accepted many requests I made to meet and discuss what's going on in the schools, and I had a wonderful relationship with the previous superintendent, Dr. Smuts, but I think I know Dr. Sue even better because we've met so much, and I want to thank you, Dr. Sue, for doing this for us. And also, I have to thank Board Member Linda Johnson, who also answered the call, and she joined me last spring in visiting all of the local schools here in the community. And I know that she took those experiences back to the school board and shared them at their meetings there. Linda she even arranged for a meeting with the president of the Teachers Union, Mr. Gear, and her and I. And we've had a couple of meetings where we discussed the creative things that he's aware of through his years of education that we can try to bring to our community. And he had some great ideas, and I'm hoping we'll be able to continue to work together. And Linda, you've been a great friend, not just to me personally, but to the community, and I really thank you. In August, in conjunction with our National Night Out for Peace March, we celebrated our city's first Hometown Heroes program. And it's an offshoot of what we did. Our Neighborhood Watch sponsored the 2 previous years. It was just a program intended to recognize the efforts of our local sheriff deputies and county firemen in the back. Thank you guys who risk their lives every day to keep our community safe, and we wanted to find a way to thank them, and I think through this program, it's a great start, and it will continue. And also part of that program, we also, why we call it Hometown Heroes, we wanted to recognize the efforts of city employees who work selfishly, here for years, selflessly here for years. I'm sorry, maybe I correct that. Yeah, sorry about that. Also, we recognize the business owners and community members who really went out of their way to help their fellow neighbors. There's so many things that people do every day that don't get publicized, and we found an avenue to recognize it. And again, it's the first program for us, and I know it's going to get better. And in the coming years, it won't be so hard to find the heroes. 'Cause one of the things I said that it was tough finding people to nominate somebody the first year because people didn't understand what the program was. But really, I said it that night. When we did get nominees, we were looking for a few community heroes, but we found we really have a community of heroes and people who are willing to give. So, and I think that's so important to give back and to the community. That's really the way to success, I believe. There's really a lot more I could say, but as I said before, I don't want to take too much of your time and just dwell on mundane things. But I wanted to use my farewell speech to give some of you who really don't know me a glimpse of what I believe is important in the community and who I am. I want to conclude by thanking the city staff and employees, and I truly mean it, not only for the help you've given me, but for the effort you put forth every day to serve the community. As in any family, we sometimes we tend to take those close to us for granted, and it's I hope we don't take you for granted. Obviously, the day-to-day process, you forget to say thank you at times, but I just wanted you to know that I appreciate it. We have a great staff here, and I really thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And to my wife, Rosie, thank you for understanding that the responsibilities of my position here has made it necessary for me to spend so much time away from home. Any success I've enjoyed during our 37 years of marriage has come from you pushing me out of my comfort zone. And I love you and always will. Thank you and farewell.
Honorable Mayor, we have some proclamations and presentations to present to you. So if you'd like to go down by the microphone.
Okay.
We have the ABC Unified School District School Board here that would like to give you a presentation, if they'd like to come forward.
We're here en masse. I'm not reading the whole thing. As usual, there are many whereases, but I'm just going to read a few here. Well, Mike already mentioned this, but whereas Michael Gomez has been instrumental in establishing the Activate Hawaiian Gardens initiative, created a mentoring program for ABC Unified Elementary students, and worked collaboratively for the Fetty Sports Complex to become a reality. And whereas Michael Gomez has earned the respect of the Hawaiian Gardens community and civic leaders, and his dedication and leadership to the city of Hawaiian Gardens has resulted in the benefit to the community as a whole. And now, therefore, The Board of Education, on behalf of the ABC Unified School District, does hereby congratulate him for his years of dedicated service to the City of Hawaiian Gardens.
One more.
I do want to say one more thing that isn't printed there. Want to personally thank Mike for his leadership and the wonderful collaboration between the City of Hawaiian Gardens and the ABC School District, because we both care so deeply about children. Thank you, Mike.
And I really have to say I'm honored have all the board members here, except for Mr. Reyes, who's serving our country overseas. I mean, it's really an honor to me that you all took the time out of your lives to come here to honor me. So thank you so much.
Honorable Mayor, we also have a presentation from the Lakewood Sheriff's Department.
Hi, good evening. Captain Merrill Leidenheim from Lakewood Sheriff Station. Service Area Sergeant Keith Suarez as well. Mike, I just want to say, you mentioned inspiration, and you've really inspired us to do the best job we can. And crime in Hawaiian Gardens continues to plummet under your leadership, the support of City Council and the City Manager. And one of the things I'm so impressed by is Mike's class and humility. And we've met many times on many issues, and truly it's been a learning experience. Your ability to network with the contract cities, with the Sheriff's Department and other county departments has built bridges for the city and has really brought favor upon Hawaiian Gardens. And truly, if there ever was a class act, it's Mayor Mike, and I appreciate what you've done for us and your leadership. Unfortunately, Sheriff Lee Baca could not make it, but on behalf of the Sheriff, in recognition of your steadfast leadership and dedicated service to the residents of Hawaiian Gardens, the men and women of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department join me in congratulating you on your outstanding achievements while serving as mayor, and wish you well in all of your future endeavors. Thank you, Mike.
Once again, I thank you, Captain and Sergeant, for those wonderful, the wonderful kindness. I'm overwhelmed right now. It's a labor of love for me to promote the city and try to bring whatever I can bring to make this a better community. And I thank you for what you just said. The Sheriff Department has really been helpful in making this community safer. And, I want to thank not only the captain here, but last week I had breakfast with Chief Lang and Commander Ratham, who kind of echoed the same thing you said. I'm honored that they called me and wanted to take me to breakfast. And then tomorrow we're having the Undersheriff Tanaka come to City Hall to pay a visit. And so I'm really honored, and thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you.
We have a presentation from the fire department.
Good evening. My name is Battalion Chief Tim Fordham. We work over here in Wine Gardens, Cerritos Lakewood area. And, firefighters, we're a few words. I'm a little upset that the sheriff's certificate's much bigger than mine. But good things come in small packages. On behalf of Chief Osby, the local battalion here, and all the members, men and women of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, I'd just like to thank you for your dedication and your service to the community this last year. I've lived in this area, on a side note, for many years, just about a mile and a half from here, and Wine Gardens is just continually improving all the time. I remember being a little kid when they built the sports center, to all the things you're doing with the hospital today with Tri-Cities, to the memorial that you did for the police and sheriff and fire department. And it's just truly amazing, and it really touched us. And, they always talk about local hometown fire departments, but I really do think we have that connection here with the city of Wine Gardens and Fire Station 34. So on behalf of the LA County Fire Department, I say congratulations. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's really been an honor to work with the fire department as well this past year, actually the past 5 years. And I've been on the city council, and it was really a dream for me and an honor to be able to be part of the dedication of the memorial for public safety. I think anybody who's seen it gets touched by the statues that our neighborhood watch chose to put out there, with the fireman holding a child in his arms and a deputy holding the hand of a young girl. I think it shows that that our law enforcement, our fire department are here to protect the children of the community and everybody. So thank you so much.
You can tell we're coming from the stage, so I ran off as soon as I could. You want to get it? Okay, thank you.
Honorable Mayor, that concludes the presentations that were here, but we have a presentation from the City Council, City of Cerritos. They were unable to come tonight, so they gave you a lovely plaque. And there is a proclamation from the Honorable Don Canabi, Supervisor Don Canabi's office, and one from our Member of Congress, Linda Sanchez, for you. Okay?
Thank you.
And as the normal thing we do is we always have a scrapbook. And our scrapbooks have changed over the years because we used to do a real scrapbook, and now it's a book. And we don't do it. Bashir Mateen, our audiovisual person, does them and does a tremendous job, and also does a video. So he is going to present the video at this time, and then we'll present the scrapbook. So we proudly present you with the mayor's book, and hope you enjoy it. Nice table book for you.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the city, we always present the outgoing mayor with a plaque that has a gavel on it for your term of office from December 2011 to December 2012.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that ends presentations.
Okay. Thank you. And this is my third one. So thank you so much for the community, for the opportunity. And, again, farewell. At least I got 3 more years till my term's up, and then the community decide for sure then, I guess. But thank you anyway. Thank you, everybody who came out. Thanks to all the staff members again for support. Ernesto always was there for me to seek advice from, and it's amazing what he does. Our city manager, we have an idea, and he runs with it and makes it a reality. So thank you, Ernesto. And again, thank you, everybody. And I think I've spoken up, and we're going to move on and find out who the next mayor is going to be. Okay. And this goes to you.
I get the gavel one time a year. Nominations are now open for the mayor for the next year.
I nominate Mayor Pro Tem Victor Farfan.
Are there any more nominations?
Yes, I nominate Barry Bruce.
Any more nominations? Nominations are closed. All in favor of Victor Farfan for mayor, please raise your hand. Congratulations. And then you for Mayor Pro Tem, sir.
Congratulations.
So we'll open nominations for Mayor Pro Temp.
I nominate Michiko Yamakanada.
I'm sorry to say that I have to decline at this time. Mayor Gomez has given over 100% of his dedication as the mayor. And as Mayor Pro Tem, at this moment, I can't give 100% of my time to be the Mayor Pro Tem. So I have to decline at this time. And I nominate Mike Gomez as Mayor Pro Tem.
I nominate Barry Bruce.
So we'll take a vote. All's in favor of Mike Gomez as Mayor Pro Temp, raise your hand. Okay, so we have a new Vice Mayor, Mike Gomez.
May I say a few words?
Certainly.
To continue?
Certainly.
Well, we expected that. In the last 4 years, you and Mr. Gomez have been exchanging positions as mayor and mayor pro tem, which is kind of selfish in a way. I'm sorry the ABC School District is here, and I apologize for some of the words that I used in here. But as you know, in the last 3 years, Mr. Gomez has been the mayor 3 times, and now Mr. Farfan has been mayor 3 times. And also, Mr. Gomez has been mayor pro tem 3 times, and Mr. Farfan has been mayor 3 times. And the only reason is because they have the 3rd vote. But I think the community can see what the selfishness that it's here. Some people cannot let go of the limelight or the power that they have, and this is a good example. But because politics, a lot of politics there's a lot of greed, there's a lot of power, and there's some that represent the community like they're supposed to, the people they voted for them to be represented. I know that both of you just don't want to let go of the limelight and the power. all the free dinners that come with the job, with a lot of politicians in high places. But I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm here. I was elected to represent the city members, and that's what I'm doing. So, but I can tell you that I'm doing what I promised to do when I was elected. We have made some changes for the betterment of the city, and we will also continue to work together, even though we have some disagreements, to make more changes. I will set aside some of the issues that we have here, and continue to represent the residents. But as the community can see what is actually going on here, and the future will change a lot of what's going on here. And like I said, I'll continue working with everybody as we have before. Of course, we don't expect to ever become mayor or mayor pro tem and receive all these awards that everybody gets here, but that's fine, because that's not as important as doing what you promised to do for the community, and that's what is important for me, and I'm happy. Thank you.
I just correction, because I know there's press here. I've never been mayor pro tem before, so this would be my first time. So, but but as far as your other comments, unfortunately, that was, there was an attitude taken when people came on the board, and it's continued, and unfortunately, it's led to what it is now, and that's really all I can say about that.
Well, Councilmember Rodriguez, I appreciate your comments. Actually, I've only been mayor once, so this will make it my second time. First of all, I just want to thank former Mayor Mike Gomez for his dedication, his unwavering passion for the city, and all his sacrifice that he has endured over this last year. I could say that Mike is definitely a role model for our youth. He is a testament of our role model, our city's motto, our youth, our future, being that he's such a strong advocate for all the children in our community. His partnership with ABC Unified School District has never been stronger. And we appreciate everything he has done. And I know that Mike will continue to work hard for the City of Hawaiian Gardens, and along with my fellow council members. Okay. And I just want to say that it is an honor truly to be nominated as mayor. As many of you know or may not know, I am a product of Hawaiian Gardens. I was born and raised in this city, as well as a product of a local district. And it is no greater honor than to say that I could represent my city as mayor and be very proud of that. And to follow Mike's footsteps, to represent the city to the best of my ability, I will continue to do that. And I hope to just work for the betterment of the community, for our residents, to ensure that they're getting the best services available, to continue our working relationship with all our employees, and to continue working with my fellow council members to assure that the goals of the city are accomplished. So with that, just want to say thank you, and I look forward to a year ahead, a good year ahead for the City of Hawaiian Gardens. And we're going to take a brief recess in order to celebrate Mike's, not necessarily farewell, but his year of closing as mayor for Hawaiian Gardens.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll reconvene to the City Council meeting. Under presentations and proclamations, item 5, adopt the Fair Political Practice Commission Disclosure Form, FPPC Form 806, Agency Report of Public Appointments.
Mayor, members of the City Council, The FEPC has adopted a form and revised some of the regulations that would now allow members of the City Council who are appointed to outside agencies and even, the mayor who receives a stipend in addition to the regular council stipend to be able to participate in those decisions, provided that this form is adopted and that is posted on the city's website, identifying the council members that are appointed to these outside positions that pay an additional stipend. And so before you is the form for you to adopt, and the recommendation is that you go ahead and adopt it and direct the city clerk to fill it out and post it online. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions at this time?
It's pretty self-explanatory. So I move to adopt this form.
I'll second it.
Okay. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could I just state for the record, since we have a newspaper here again, you mentioned the stipend for the mayor. I never received that extra stipend.
That's correct. Mayor Gomez last year waived the stipend, but this year, because the FEPC was in the middle, in the limbo of reviewing this regulation, with this particular action, the mayor is not required to waive the stipend.
Okay, now we're going to go to each individual meeting to do the reorganization. So we'll start off with the Public Housing Authority special meeting. Under presentations, reorganization of members of the Public Housing Authority. Do I need to give you the gavel back?
No, that's fine. I just did it one time. Okay, nominations are open for the chair of the Public Housing Authority.
I nominate Victor Farfan.
Any more nominations? And Victor Farfan, all in favor for Victor Farfan? Raise your hand.
Okay, so now we'll open up nominations for the vice chair. I'll nominate Mike Gomez. Any other nominations? Okay, so Mike Gomez is now the vice chair for the Public Housing Authority. Okay. Move on to the Civic League special meeting, presentations, reorganization of the members of the Civic League.
Nominations are open for the Civic League, for the chair of the Civic League.
I nominate Mayor Farfan.
Any more nominations? Then Victor Farfan is chair.
Okay. Now we'll accept nominations for the vice chair member. I'll nominate Mike Gomez. Seeing no other, Mike Gomez is now the chair member for the Civic League. Now we'll convene to the Public Housing Authority special meeting, presentations, reorganization of members of the Public Financing Authority. Public Financing Authority.
Nominations are open for the Public Financing Authority for chair.
I nominate Mayor Farfan.
Any more nominations? Then Mayor Farfan is the chair.
Okay, now we'll open up nominations for vice chair member. I'll nominate Mike Gomez. See no other. Mike Gomez is now vice chair member for the Public Financing Authority. And now we'll convene to the successor agency, RDA.
Nominations are open for chair of the successor agency, RDA.
I nominate Mayor Farfan.
No other nominations. Mayor Farfan is chair.
Okay, we'll accept nominations for vice chair member. At this particular time, I'll nominate Mayor Mike Gomez. See no other. Mike Gomez is now vice chair member. Okay. All right. So what we'll do at this particular time, we'll go back to the Public Housing Authority special meeting. and I'll open up oral communications items on the agenda. This is the time reserved for members of the public wishing to speak on items on and not on the agenda, except for public hearing items. This period will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Maximum time allocated is 15 minutes. Upon conclusion of oral communications, the authority board, the authority staff, at the direction of the chair, may respond to any questions or statements that were presented by members of the public. The authority board is prohibited by law from discussing or taking any action on items presented during oral communications that are not on the agenda. This is actually going to apply to all meetings. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Karen Kavanaugh. I'm here from the Hawaiian Gardens Public Library, and I'm here to announce some upcoming events at the library. The first is tomorrow evening. We are having our holiday-themed story time. We're calling it our Winter Wonderland Family Story Time, and it is Wednesday, December 12th. That's tomorrow evening from 6:30 to 7:30. There'll be a story time and an art activity at the end of the story time. All families are welcome. Then on Thursday, December 20th, at 4:30 p.m., we are going to be having a work-in-progress presentation for our Theater of Hearts teen visual arts workshops. This is the culmination of the visual arts workshops we've been having for teens at the library, where they've been able to work together with a professional artist, Teresa Tolliver. They'll be showcasing their work. So at 4:30, both the artist and the students will be there to be able to present their work and talk a little bit about it. But for those who aren't able to make it that early, we will have the work up until the library closes at 8 p.m. So if you'd like to come by and see it, it will be up there. And we invite all members of the public to come by and check it out because they've made some really great stuff. I have included invitations for all the city council members, and I've left them with Ms. Underwood to provide to you. So hopefully some of you can come by and see some of the wonderful artwork that the teens have made. Moving forward to a couple events in early January. On Thursday, January 3rd, we are going to be having a board game day at the library from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. We invite community members to beat the winter boredom at the library by playing a favorite board game or by learning a new one. We have a lot of board games available at the library for people to try out. Then on Saturday, January 5th, that is going to be the first day to sign up for our Growing a Reader, Cultivando Lectores reading program. Children ages 4 through 12 can earn free prizes and books just by reading. And this reading program will continue through March, and it will include special events for children and families, and it's sponsored by a generous grant from the Target Foundation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Nidia Mateos, vivo en la 215 Street y solamente quiero agradecerles a todos por el gran trabajo que hacen todos juntos por nuestra ciudad. Quiero darle gracias a Mr. Mike por todo su trabajo, aparte de que cuento con el privilegio de ser su amiga. El trabajo que él ha hecho por nuestra ciudad ha sido excelente. Gracias aún a las cosas malas que han pasado, porque todo nos ha servido para crecer juntos. Muchas gracias a cada uno de los empleados que se esfuerzan por hacer su trabajo lo mejor posible. Gracias porque siempre escuchan nuestras peticiones. El muchacho del graffiti, donde me lo encuentro, le digo, aquí hay graffiti, y él luego va y lo quita. Cuando hay basura tirada, les llamo y luego van y la recogen. Muchas gracias, Mr. Steve, por las clases de Zumba, que escuchó la petición. Por don Colombo también, gracias por todo lo que hacen por nuestra ciudad. Don Ernesto, que al fin de todo, toda la responsabilidad recae sobre usted, y usted es el que toma la mayor parte de las decisiones, y gracias porque todas esas decisiones son en beneficio de nuestra comunidad. Gracias porque hemos aprendido a trabajar en equipo, con los empleados, los council members, el ABC y la comunidad. Todos vamos a seguir trabajando porque nuestra comunidad siga hacia adelante y que sea y siga siendo una ciudad bendecida y bonita. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
her name is Nydia Mateos, and she lives on 215th Street. She wanted to thank the entire council and appreciate all the work that you guys all do together. She also wanted to mention specifically Mr. Mike Gomez for all the work that he has done. In addition to it being a privilege that he is also her friend, he's done some excellent work here. She said that even during the bad things, we've all been able to grow together and move forward for the community. She wanted to thank each one of you. She also wanted to thank all the employees who do a lot for our community and who work hard, that they're always willing to listen. And for example, she mentioned that when she sees one of our employees who removes graffiti, she has mentioned it to him, and right away he goes and removes the graffiti. When she's called in about trash, that gets removed immediately. She also wanted to thank Steve for the Zumba classes again. She had mentioned it, and it was done and taken care of. She also wanted to thank Mr. Colombo for all the work that he does, and to Ernesto for all the work that he does, that at the end of it, he is the one that's responsible. All the responsibility falls on him, and he takes a lot of the major decisions that take place, and it's done to benefit our community. And that it's been collectively the work of everybody as a team, the council, the ABC school district, and the community. And all this work has helped the city to progress, and that it is a blessed city and a beautiful city.
Council, Mayor, staff. My name is Frank Amaro. I'm a resident of Hawaiian Gardens, 21812 Elaine Avenue, Hawaiian Gardens. I'm also the president of Hawaiian Gardens Little League. We've been doing a fundraiser for baseball tournaments. We've been having them out there in our sports complex. And we also been doing a toy drive also. And we're going to donate the toys to the City of Hawaiian Gardens for the kids here that they're going to help out. We're going to turn them over to Steve Gomez's department. And then on December 15th, our first Little League signups at the sports complex. The east parking lot on the baseball side will be taking signups there from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we're also already starting softball practice for the girls, ages 10 to 18. Starting December 21st at the sports complex. And then we're also, just a reminder on our tryout dates, are the 26th and 27th of January. That's a Saturday and a Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we're also, if it doesn't rain us out again, we're having another tournament this December 15th, and it's also going to be another toy drive there. So we've been doing fundraising for the Little League, and we have a lot of toys that we're going to be turning over, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Seeing there's no one else from the audience that's wishing to speak, I'll close oral communications. Is there anyone on council that would like to respond to any comments that were made?
I'd just like to congratulate Frank on all the work he's been doing with the Little League. He's been, kind of stuck in the position as president for, it must be 4 years now, Frank, is it? Yeah, and he's just turned the league around, continues to work hard, being proactive with these tournaments that he's having now. He's raising money for the league, and using that to have toy donations to give to the children is a great idea. So thank you, Frank.
Yeah, I just want to echo that as well. Frank, thank you for your dedication. I know you put a lot of work into that league, and we appreciate it. Obviously, we've developed a lot of athletes out of that, and we'll continue to do so. And thank you for this novel idea. I mean, that's great to see that you're going to give back to the children of the city. That's awesome. So thank you. Okay, so now under agenda organization, would anyone like to change the order of the agenda at this particular time? No.
Public
We're
housing,
good.
right?
Yeah, Public Housing Authority, yeah. Okay. Item A, public hearing, none. Item B, consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be acted by one motion and one vote. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered separately. Would anyone like to remove any items at this particular time from the consent calendar?
Yes, I would like to remove B2.
Any other items?
Seeing no other, I'll make a motion to approve the rest of the consent calendar in its entirety.
And I second it.
Okay. Item B2, adopt resolution number 2012-15 to approve and direct the city clerk/secretary to destroy certain agency records and documents pursuant to the government code of the state of California. Staff report.
Honorable Board and Chair, this City Clerk's Office has presented an inventory of specific Public Housing Authority records and/or documents that may be destroyed pursuant to the government code. Most of the documents, records for destruction, do not have any historical or archival value and are no longer required to be retained according to the law. Attached for the Public Housing Authority's review, approval, and authorization is the proposal and the list of the inventory. Upon approval of the proposed resolution, then these documents would definitely be shredded and destroyed by a certified company. Fiscal impact is minimal, of course, and we have them. These are records that are kept over in our storage facility on Carson Street, and they have been there for many years, and I think there's approximately 12 boxes, and they range from the year of August 1992 till December of 2005. And these are old records that are a list of people who had applied for the program, or I believe it was just information from the files when they applied for the programs. And they are for a view if any of the board members would care to go review them. They're definitely over there in the storage facility for review. There's I believe about 12 boxes.
Where is this facility at?
The Carson Street storage facility. We have a room over there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not over here. They're over there.
The public storage.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind going just to check it out.
We can either bring them over here, or you can review them over there. It's whatever you want to do. Okay, we'll bring them over here, and then you can review them.
Okay.
We'll put them in your office.
Are there any further questions?
That's it.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item C, discussion items. Seeing that there are none. Item D, closed session, none. Item E, oral staff reports, none. Item F, oral board reports. None. Okay, so we got to ask this question real quick. Right now, according to the way that the agenda reads, we are set to meet on December 25th. So I'm going to ask the council at this particular time if they want to meet on that night. Okay. So I'm assuming then the next date would be January 8th? Okay.
I was going to ask who's bringing the tamales.
Oh. Okay, so we'll adjourn to the next regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, January 8th at 6 p.m.
This would be January 22nd because this is a PHA meeting. They only meet once a month. I'm sorry.
Okay. January 22nd?
Yes.
Okay.
I got confused with my meetings here. Two meetings, three meetings. Okay. All right, so now we're removing. Thank you, Alba. Keep trying to.
Okay, so now we'll reconvene to the city council meeting. Agenda organization. At this time, are there any council members that'd like to change the order of any agenda items? Okay. Item A, public hearing, none. Item B, ordinances, none. Item C, consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be acted by one motion and one vote. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered separately. Would anyone like to pull any items from the consent calendar at this particular time?
C4.
C1, C2, C4, and C5.
Then do we have a motion to approve the remainder of the consent calendar?
I make a motion to approve the remainder of the calendar.
A second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item C1, adopt resolution number 085-2012 to accept the completion of the pavement rehabilitation project, CDBG project number 601414-11 on various streets in the city of Hawaiian Gardens, awarded to Palp Inc., DBA Excel Paving Company in the amount of $303,473.75, and to authorize the city clerk to file the notice of completion. Staff report.
Yes, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, as part of the 2011-2012 pavement rehabilitation project, various streets as outlined in the staff report have been paved. The project is complete. The total contract amount for XL Paving was $303,473.75. And all we're asking you to do is basically authorize the city clerk to file a notice of completion.
On page 2, I guess on the block, you said that you state that you estimate remaining balance of $61,000 from the original funds that we have acquired for this project.
Correct.
So, what do we do with this money?
Well, it can roll over if you budget additional asphalt work.
And can it be used for other things, or it has to be a project, a street project?
Well, you've got Measure R funds, and you got Prop 1B and CDBG. I'm not sure if these are the CDBG funds that were acquired, but I'm sure they were earmarked specifically for rehabilitation work. So it's not funds that we can just take and allocate towards another project without going through a whole process. And your Measure R funds and Prop 1B funds are restricted.
Thank you.
If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to waive for the reading and adopt resolution 085-2012.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item C2, adopt resolution number 086-2012 to extend the professional service agreement to Wildan Engineering for a period of 2 years to perform municipal engineering and other professional services as needed. Staff report.
Honorable Mayor and members of City Council, as you know, we contract with Wildan Engineering to provide engineering services, and you all know Ismail, he's the city engineer. That's what this contract for. The contract is identical to the prior contract, and they're just asking for a 2-year extension. Staff's recommending you approve resolution number 86-2012.
My question is, why are we not sending requests for proposals on this type of a contract? Because I checked out a couple items in 2 months, and plus the city project, which was $68,000 charged by our city engineer, Wildan. And other costs from the warrants for 2 months, it it totaled over 120,000. So this is a multi-thousand contract that we have here, probably over 200,000 or even more. It seems to me like this type of contract should go out as a request for proposal, bids, instead of just giving them a check 2 more years. I would like our finance director that if he could give me information on how much we paid Wilden this last contract this year, so that I can see exactly how much money we spent. And my question is, why are we not sending out for bids?
I can respond if you will. Number
Why don't you
one,
go ahead and respond, John.
we're talking about a contract employee, and we just don't change contract employees unless there's a real necessary reason. We're not required to go out to bid for professional services. Any of the engineering costs that we incur on projects, those are bidded out, and Wildan does bid those projects as well. So this contract is strictly for the 3 days a week that that department is staffed. If you certainly can go out to bid and circulate an RFP, but you would be talking about starting all over again with another person.
So you're saying this is strictly for our city engineer? Nothing
Correct.
else? Because I was looking at your resolution here, and it has a breakdown of all the services that Wildan performs and their hourly salaries. So all this information doesn't apply. It only applies to our city engineer.
They provided a rate sheet in case you do ask them for services, but the only services we have with them that we budgeted in the budget that you approved is for one city engineer, part-time, 3 days a week. I think it's 24 hours a week. A lot of the projects that we go out to bid, you're not just going out to bid for the construction end of it, you're going out to bid also for design work as well. So, for example, the bus shelters, which is one of the projects that will be forthcoming to you, not only is the construction or the maintenance of the bus shelters going out to bid, but also the design of the bus shelters. And as usual, Wildan bids on all the projects when they feel that they're qualified for it. It doesn't mean that they necessarily get the project, but it does come before the city council for review.
Well, you keep saying that we're not required in this particular case with Wildan to send out for proposal. Where do we get that from?
It's in government code.
Actually, the City Council's resolution purchasing guidelines exempts professional services from the bidding requirements. That is not to say that the City Council cannot decide to require a bid process. It's solely within your discretion. That's why it's before you today on the agenda. You have the option to approve the extension for 2 years, or you have the option to require staff to go out to bid. The contract is for the engineering position. So this contract is for Wildan to provide a city engineer.
Since we used our city engineer for the memorials and the street pavement, that contract's probably over $100,000, because I know just for the street pavement it's $68,000. So is it feasible not to see if we can get cheaper rates, or we just continue on with this?
One more thing for design professionals, the government code requires that you choose your professional by the qualifications, that you not look strictly at price. So you have to, most agencies will do a double-blind type of recruitment where they submit their price proposal in a sealed envelope separate from the qualifications, because you're supposed to rate them on qualifications first before you can even consider the price. But that is not to say that, if you have equally qualified firms, that you couldn't choose the one that provides a more competitive pricing.
Well, going through some of the records that have been destroyed, going back to the 90s, it seems like Wilden has been on there since then. And nobody ever made the effort to find out if there is another engineering firm or consulting firm that could give us the same service or with the same qualifications.
We've used other engineering firms. Wildan has been in and out from City Hall many times. So prior to Wildan, I think it was BSI and I forget what some of the other. When Richard was here, I forgot what the name of that firm is, but it wasn't always Wildan that was providing engineering services. But for the most part, they have been here providing engineering services. But it's your call what you want to do with it, though.
Well, I know that it's going to pass, but so I just want to let know for the record that I'm going to abstain on this.
Okay. Now I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Aye. Okay. Item C4, adopt resolution number 088-2012 to approve a contract budget amendment submitted by Hogle, Ireland in the amount of $27,779 for the preparation of an environmental impact report for the construction of a permanent Hawaiian Gardens casino located at 11871 Carson Street. Staff report.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Member City Council, as you know, an RFP was circulated for the preparation of an environmental impact report for the expansion of the Hawaiian Gardens Casino. That contract was awarded to Hogle Ireland, Inc., and as a result of additional revisions and analysis and increased meetings and additional applicant suggestions, there is a need for a second increase in the contract amount of $27,779. As you know, this is a contract that the casino is paying for directly. We get the funds from them. They're actually paying for the contract for the EIR, not the City of Hawaiian Gardens. And initially, we did go out to bid on this project, and it was awarded to Hogle Ireland. Staff recommends that you approve the additional budget amount of $27,779 by approving resolution number 88-2012.
And before you can actually discuss this item, there is a little bit of house work that we need to do, house cleaning, so to speak. During the study of the casino project, the parking analysis and traffic analysis was expanded to include off-site properties for parking purposes, for employee parking and such. Two additional properties are of great import. One is the vacant property on Norwalk across from the way out. So that property is now part of the EIR and the parking study. And the second property is a vacant landlord property behind the Elks Lodge. And so that property is now part of the study. What that means is that we now have 4 council members who own property or rent property within 500 feet of the project. And because of that, 4 of you cannot discuss or participate in this particular item, which means that the mayor is the only one who can actually discuss this item. But the law requires that you have at least 3 council members participate and on this item. Otherwise, we have no quorum. Under the FEPC guidelines, we are allowed to, by lot, bring back 2 council members who can then participate the rest of the time for this project as if you had no conflicts. But first, we have to ask the assistant city clerk to participate because the city clerk might get in hot waters because she also lives within 500 feet of one of the properties. It's normal in small jurisdictions for these types of situations to happen. So we're ready, and I think we're going to pull names out of a cup, not a hat.
First name is Mayor Pro Tem Gomez. The next name is Councilmember Oyama Canada.
That's it. All we need is two.
Oh.
Now we have the minimum required. So the other council members whose name were not called are going to have to step out, before, so we can continue to discuss this and comply with the FPPC regulations.
Need some of that Jägermeister. And the city clerk, too.
So at this particular time, I'll entertain any discussion on this topic.
I think it's clear that this is something that the casino is paying for as part of their project, so it's not money that comes out of from the city's funds. So I'll make a motion to waive for the reading and adopt resolution number 088-2012.
I second it.
Okay. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But can I make a comment in the podium since I can't vote?
It has to be down there, yes.
Yes.
Yes, even if you do have a conflict, because it's his personal residence, he's allowed to participate as a member of the public, but it has to be down from the podium.
Well, my question is, since the casino is paying for the study for the EIR, when or how do you allow the money? Do they put the money in the kitty and then we just get it out of the kitty, or the city gets it out of the kitty, or you request every time you have an increase from the casino? Is there any time that the casino can say, hey, well, this is too much money, we don't want to pay this? What happens then?
We actually get the money up front. There's a developer's deposit with the city, and then the time is deducted from the developer's deposit. And in this particular case, this will be the last increase. The EIR is, it's almost complete, and we don't foresee any additional work to be done by Hogle Ireland outside of the scope of services. And yes, the casino deposits the money with the city, so the city already has the money.
The reason I asked, because originally the contract was for $147,175, and then that was 1910 and 1911. You allowed it another 75,690, which came to a total of 222,865. So there was $46,700 left from the original allotment of the casino. So now we're going to, now they're asking for, they're asking for what, 27,000 more?
Yes.
And we still have money left in the kitty there in case they decide they want more. But at what point have we ever had an instance where a client like the Gardens Casino or any other client says, hey, you guys, we're paying too much money for this study, and left the city to pay the rest, or?
No, we stopped processing the project.
Let me further elaborate. We have a reimbursement agreement. If you recall, when this was first done, they had, I believe, signed a reimbursement agreement. So we have all the money upfront, cash, sitting in the finance department, other than the amount that you're about to approve tonight. After you approve, if you approve the reso, then we will be asking for the additional $27,000. So the city is never going to be out of any money. All the money has already been deposited with the city, and as we get invoiced, we just draw down.
Okay, thank you. C5. Adopt Resolution 089-2012 to authorize the city manager to offer rewards for information leading to the identification, apprehension, and conviction of persons responsible for hate crimes committed within the city, and to authorize a budget amendment to provide funding during the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2013. Staff report.
Mayor, members of the City Council, the Government Code authorizes the City Council to offer rewards for the apprehension and arrest of persons who commit crimes against property or persons within the city. In this particular instance, the administration is requesting that you authorize the city manager to approve or set aside $10,000 to offer rewards for hate crimes that occur, should a hate crime occur, and an incentive be required to bring people forward, witnesses forward, to lead into the apprehension of the perpetrators, that you authorize this fund to be available. And the actual amount of the rewards will be up to the discretion of the city manager, from $0 to up to $10,000 in any calendar year. It all depends on the City Council allocating the funds in the budget through the budget process. And this particular resolution not only establishes a program effective immediately, but it also allocates money from reserves to have that seed money for this current fiscal year that ends June 30th, 2013. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, what qualifies a hate crime is one of my questions, and then the other question is the $10,000, is that per year? And then of course the other question that I have would be, how does this set other crimes apart? I mean, how do you determine?
Okay. The definition of a hate crime is actually in the Penal Code, and it's section 422.55. It's page 62. We have listed the definition from the Penal Code, and it's basically a criminal act committed because of one or more of the following actual or perceived characteristics of the victim: their disability, their gender, their nationality, their race or ethnicity, their religion, their sexual orientation, or association of a person with any one of more of these actual or perceived characteristics. So if someone is targeted because either particular disability, national origin, race, religion, sexual orientation, then that qualifies as a hate crime. The $10,000 it's an annual cap, so reward can be $500 or $1,000. If the reward is $1,000, there can be no more than 10 in a calendar year, or a fiscal year. I'm sorry. Or they can all be spent in one sitting. If a reward is offered at $10,000 and is actually granted, meaning the person comes forward and earns the reward, then there won't be any money left for that fiscal year unless the city manager comes back to City Council for additional allocation of money. So the $10,000 is just the max for fiscal year before the city manager has to come back to City Council for additional funding.
Well, what determines, let's say you have 5 people and all of them give information, who's the winner? Because...
Normally they share the reward.
So it's split up?
Yes.
And what and the reward is given what after the perpetrator is convicted?
Yeah, this particular, some agencies and sometimes the state offers rewards for just apprehension, but in this particular program, the person has to be convicted. So it could take some time before a decision is made or determination is made that a person has actually earned the reward.
And you really think that this is going to make a difference in as just being a good citizen and reporting something that's gone wrong, as opposed to, oh, I might get some cash out of the deal?
Councilmember Bruce, to answer your question and to provide the entire City Council with a bit of background, this was a request that former Mayor Mike Gomez requested that we put on the agenda. So what we did was worked on an item to present it to you. I'm not sure if the mayor wants to comment, but I think he'd probably be the best person to address your question.
Well, I think what led me to it is there was an incident in the last month that was considered hate crime in the community, and the idea was our community is getting more and more diversified, and this is a really bad mark on us if it's allowed to happen again and again. And I've tried to think of how do we send a message that we're not going to accept this type of behavior. And with talking with the city manager, I think they did studies and found that in other cities and jurisdictions, they offer, as normally, I guess the normal range was somewhere in the $1,000 range, but it's we wanted to be able to. But the question is, well, if somebody's going to report something, they're taking a chance, in reporting. People have fears, and $1,000 may not be enough. But if we can increase the amount of the reward, it can entice people to step up and offer the information that's needed. And I understand this. The information can be anonymous, just as long as it leads to the conviction. Is that?
Well, ultimately, in order for there to be a conviction, I mean that person is going to have to testify.
Okay.
Right?
Just wanted to clarify that. Okay, but again, the big thing is allowing these things to happen without doing anything. It really leaves a black mark in our community. Especially again, we have different nationalities moving into the community. You see them all around town, and it's the message that we want our community to have and to know. And I think it's important that we set the standard and say, look, we're not going to accept anything less, and we're offering. This is an offer we're making to the community to help us stamp out these types of crimes, and that was really the thought process.
Well, I can see how it politically looks right for our city to say, hey, look, this is important enough to us to have a reserve of $10,000 to do this, but I don't think that it's going to be any more of an incentive. If you're a good community member and you care about people, you're going to report the crime whether you're getting paid any money or not, because it's a moral issue and it's a decency issue. It's not a money issue. And I think those people that would do it for money probably wouldn't want to testify anyway. It's a scary thing when you're going up against crime and you have to testify. The only way a person's going to be convicted is if they're testified against. So I mean, we can do it. So look politically correct, and I understand that that's important. That the city shows that, hey, look, this is important to us. So I don't have a problem with that, but I fail to see how it would be something that really helps in the long run. Is there any stats or anything on giving? There probably is somewhere. That does a reward actually?
Yeah, I'm sure there is some information that's available. But our research, we didn't go that deep into it, Mr. Bruce. We just basically drafted the item according to what we felt the mayor was requesting. So.
And if I could just add, I think, that's a tool that is used all the time in law enforcement, offering rewards for information. It's probably has some amount of success. That's why it's offered. And obviously, I think I guess my response is, I remember speaking to our past council member Chidas one time about something that he was pushing, and he had some negative feedback about it, and so I asked him why do you want to do this, and he says, his answer to me was, well, because we got to do something. And I think that's the way we look at it. We have to take some kind of action, and be, the key words that you always hear is we got to be proactive, but we got to try. If we can try, if nobody offers information, the money sits and is not given out, then we can always withdraw the program later on. But at least we're giving it a try, and we'll see what happens.
Do we have any further questions or comments on this particular topic? No? Then I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item D, discussion items. Minute order appointment of director and alternative director to Los Angeles County Sanitation District, number 19. Staff report.
Honorable Mayor and Council, this is done when we do reorganization, and this is the rest of the changes on the different different places. I can't even think of the word. You'll be doing the reorganization of the rest of the stuff at the next meeting, but these two have to be done now because it's when we reorganize, and this has to be the mayor and then an alternate director to the sanitation district number 19. And so, if the mayor would like to appoint someone, because it has to be him and someone else.
So I'll appoint Mike Gomez, who has currently sat on the sanitation district representing the city of Hawaiian Gardens.
A letter will be sent to the sanitation district tomorrow with this information.
Item D2, minute order appointment of trustee to the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District. Staff report.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Bruce has been appointed as the trustee to the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District to complete an unexpired term in 2010 due to a resignation of then Mayor Farfan. The term was for 4 years, which expires January 3rd, I believe it is 2013. That's why we have to do this now, because they need this in before our next council meeting, when you will do changeover of all the different organizations. And in accordance with State Health and Safety Code Section 22024, City Council is to appoint a member to the Board of Trustees to fill either a 2-year or a 4-year term, and upon the appointment of a council member, should that said council member no longer be on the City Council, they still may continue serving until the term expires. That's up to the council to decide. And so first we need to know if you're going to do a 2-year or a 4-year term, and then who you're going to appoint.
I'll do a 2-year term, and I'll ask Bruce if he wants to continue sitting on this committee.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
A letter will be sent to the Vector Control tomorrow with this information.
Item E, new business. See none. Item F, closed session. See none. Item G, oral staff reports. Item H, oral council reports. Start with Michi.
I just wanted to make a comment about the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. It was a good event, even though it was very cold. But thanks to our staff, they brought it indoors. I wasn't outside that long, so, but I mean, I even took pictures on my cell phone on the tree inside, and I mean, it was just amazing to see so many children going through to see Santa Claus, and I mean, I didn't realize we had so many children in Hawaiian Gardens. But it was very nice, and the Christmas caroling, and it was just an enjoyable evening. The other comment I want to make is about the Lion King performance. I want to thank Linda Jimenez. She did an outstanding job on the costumes and the play itself. And I want to thank her and her helpers and our city staff for such a great play. And I hope Linda Jimenez continues, because, I mean, when I worked at Melbourne, I seen her work there, and she is really good with the children, and she makes her own props, and I mean, it was just really a nice, enjoyable evening to see so many children in our city participating and not being shy about performing. So I want to thank Linda and the children for a great evening and performance. Thank you.
We would like to thank the Garden Casino and their staff, and the Moskowitz family, David Moskowitz, Ron Sarabi, Peter Linden, and Yuri Makamoto, and all the casino volunteers for making our Christmas event a very successful one, plus our city staff also and volunteers. We must have had hundreds and hundreds of kids, and they all got presents, and they were real good presents. And we had lines all the way up to the maintenance yard, so we want to thank them, thank everybody for that event. Also, I just want to quick report. We met with staff from the LA County Supervisor, Canavi, City Administrator Marquez, City Attorney Sandoval, and Joe Colombo on the issue of Crossroads, a nonprofit organization buying foreclosure homes and renovating them and renting them out to low-income families. The problem is that the homes cannot be sold for 55 years, and they're not required to pay any property tax for 55 years. Their intent was to buy 40 homes in this community. And you know that we are a small community, and we can't afford to lose any property tax, even though everybody here says we don't get that much. But school funds, fire departments, sheriff's departments, they all get money from these property taxes. So they do count. I know that probably the average homeowner here pays at least over $2,000 in property taxes. And this organization, Crossroads, they'll get this free grant money from the federal government. In this particular case, they got $9.5 million, $9.5 million, and their goal was to buy 40 homes and remove them out of the property tax and just sit there and collect the rent for 55 years. And if anybody in the community wanted to buy a home, these homes are not for sale for 55 years. I researched on Crossroads to find out where they're located, where their headquarters, and where the offices are. I got 2 addresses. They were in Cudahy because originally that's where they come from, Cudahy. And I went to check on these addresses, and there were big, huge apartment complexes. There were no offices there. We checked to see if they had a business permit in the city of Cudahy, and there was no evidence of one. And Mr. Marquez also, he's been trying to find out where do these people come from, where are their headquarters, and he can't find no information on them. But anyway, we met with Mr. Canavi's staff, and they said they were going to investigate and see what's going on with this organization. They stopped them from buying any more homes. Right now, the total is 19 homes they have bought already. And so hopefully that's where they're going to stop. And like I said, Mr. Canavi's staff, who is the LA County Board Supervisor, are checking into this. So hopefully we'll get an answer soon. The other report I have is I would like to have this meeting when you get ready to close, honoring one of our fallen soldiers here in Hawaiian Gardens. He's been a resident of Hawaiian Gardens for 69 years. He was born probably here in the little house across the street over here in the corner, because in those days the hospitals were not that active out here. A lot of people were born and still in houses. But anyway, his name was Robert Aparijo, and we called him Bobby. So we all grew up together because we're more or less the same age. He served in the U.S. Army from January the 7th of 1967 to January the 6th of 1969 in Vietnam. He was part of the 25th Infantry, known as Tropical Storm, 3rd Battalion, 1st Brigade. He was a sergeant of information and operations and an intelligence specialist. Bobby received a bronze medal for a heroic act and a Medal of Honor. He passed away from complications caused by Agent Orange, which many of our troops are passing now because of that chemical. So anyway, that's hopefully I would like to have this meeting closed in his honor. Thank you.
Yeah, I too just wanted to reiterate how nice it was to have such a great Christmas party this year. And we did have the real Santa Claus this year, right? All the kids know. And it was really wonderful how it was laid out. And I thought it was really great how the bands played, and Artesia Band did an extraordinary job. I was very impressed with their Christmas selections. And then The Lion King was great to see such great sets and such amazing costumes and so much hard work. I hope to see a better sound system in the future. I really do, because so much time, so much effort, so much work, and such bad sound. So we got to work on that. But yeah, Linda and all of those volunteers, I'm sure there's a truckload of them that helped her, and all the kids that put on so much work. And so many kids from Hawaiian Gardens. Was really a delight to see that. Also wanted to just invite the community to a free showing at the Way Out Ministries of A Very Merry Christmas Show. It's a musical comedy that we have this Sunday at 5 o'clock. We'd welcome you there at 22427 Norak Boulevard. And for those wanting a comedy show with a little class, there's a sit-down dessert show also where tickets are available for $8. The dinner show is sold out on Friday night. So if you're interested, please come, and certainly bring your kids to that community show. And we'll pack out that little place as best we can.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, this past week my phone died, so all my calendar went with it. So I don't, and it's just as well because I think I spoke enough earlier. But I just want to echo the two things. The thing about the Christmas party, it was wonderful, and so was the performing arts program. And they kind of go together in just a comment I'm going to make, because after the performance of the Lion King, I had one of the young boy come up to me and thank us for the Christmas party. He said it was great. He really enjoyed it. And I asked him, are you here as part of the performing arts program? He goes, no, but I heard about it and I wanted to come see what it was like. And I says, well, are you going to join now? And he said, yes. So that's great news. Again, congratulations to everybody for all the hard work, as was said earlier.
At the same time, I also just want to thank the Hawaiian Gardens Casino, all the volunteers, staff, our staff as well, for an excellent job once again on the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. On Saturday, December 1st, myself and Sylvia Gooden attended the Suchi Foundation holiday party / giveaway. They selected about 5 families, needy families from Hawaiian Gardens, and gave them some, basically a $50 gift certificate and some other items for the holiday. So that was nice, and they kind of basically explained their mission. And the Suchi Foundation, it's unbelievable how they're a worldwide foundation, and we're fortunate enough to have one located in Cerritos that helps out the community in Hawaiian Gardens. But anytime there's a catastrophic event that occurs anywhere in the world, they are there to help out. And so they're here in Hawaiian Gardens just helping out in any way they can. So, and then I also just wanted to, as my fellow council members mentioned too, just thank Linda for all her hard work on the Lion King play. I took my 2-year-old son, and I just didn't know if he'd be able to sit there, but he actually sat through the whole performance. It was that good, I would say, in which it captivated his attention. And there were just a lot of children that were there as well, and they did just an excellent job overall. And I just wanted to commend her. I mean, like everyone said, from the props to the costumes, she just did a fabulous job. So that's all I had to say. So in closing, I'd like to fulfill Councilmember Rodriguez's request in terms of closing in honor of Robert Bobby Abarrito. Abarrito. Okay. So I'll adjourn the city council meeting and to January 8th, 2013. Okay. All right. So now we'll continue with the City of Hawaiian Gardens Successor Agency, RDA. Agenda organization. At this time, would anyone like to change the order of the agenda? Seeing none, we'll continue. Item A, public hearing, none. Item B, consent calendar. Items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be acted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered separately. Would anyone like to pull any items from the consent calendar at this time? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve in its entirety.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item C, discussion items. Seeing none. New business? None. Closed session? None. Oral staff reports? Oral agency reports? None. Adjournment. So we'll adjourn to a regular meeting to be held on Tuesday, January 8th, 2013. And now for the Public Financing Authority special meeting. Item B, consent calendar. Do we have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
And we're adjourning to what day, Sue, on this one?
We will come back on January 8th with this because we will, that is to because since it was the reorganization, we want to memorialize that with the minutes. And then we won't have another meeting with this until December of January of 2013.
Okay. So we will adjourn till January 8th, 2013. And now to the Civic League special meeting. Item A, consent calendar. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I believe we'll, okay. So we will reconvene, well, actually, we'll adjourn this meeting till January 8th, 2013.